For choosing a protein powder, whether or not you need a protein powder, to be honest with you, most people don't. Most people are needing their protein needs, and protein powders can be useful for two reasons, I would say. The first one is for those that are having a hard time meeting their protein needs through food. My name is Amanda Beaver, and I'm a registered dietitian with Houston Methodist, and my job is to help employees live healthier lives through their nutrition. So if you're having a hard time meeting your needs from foods alone, and this can be especially true for vegetarians and athletes in particular. Another reason that protein powders might be useful for you is if you are on the go and need a protein source that's portable. Maybe you can't get home in time to eat a meal or snack, and having a protein powder that's portable and shelf stable might be a good option for you, so that way you can meet your protein needs and not have to wait too long to have your protein source after your workout. So to choose a protein powder, the first step is to decide whether or not you want a plant-based protein powder or an animal-based or whey-based protein powder. And once you've decided that, then it's going to come down to what you're going to be using the protein powder for. So I feel like so often when we pick a protein powder, we just kind of pick one at random, but decide whether you're going to be just adding it to water and having it on the go after the gym or a workout, or are you going to be adding it to things like smoothies or oatmeal or something like that. And if you're going to be adding it to things, choosing an unflavored one might be better. Once you've picked those two categories, then the last thing is finding one that has a more minimal ingredient list. So choose one that doesn't have a big long list of additives and things in it. And by going through those three steps, you'll end up with one that'll be suited to your needs, and based on what you're going to be using it for. The article about protein powders found that a lot of protein powders have higher levels of heavy metals. So whenever it comes to heavy metals in protein powders, typically the plant-based ones are going to be higher in heavy metals, or more likely to have higher levels of heavy metals. And that's because naturally plants will take up these metals from the soil that might just naturally exist there, or might be kind of contaminated from industrial waste products or something like that that's found in the soil. These plant-based protein powders are going to just have higher levels of these just because of where the plants are grown and how the plants naturally take them up. And then not only that, but our chocolate protein powders are going to be higher in heavy metals as well. And the reason for that is chocolate is typically grown in areas that naturally have higher levels of cadmium in the soil. And so a lot of cocoa powders have higher levels than we would want of cadmium. So because of this, I typically recommend that people choose a vanilla protein powder, especially if they're pregnant or breastfeeding, or just, worried about this at all. Just choose a vanilla one over a chocolate one, and that will automatically reduce the heavy metal content. And then the last thing is the studies have also found that whey proteins tend to be lower in heavy metals as well. So maybe choose a whey protein, especially a vanilla whey if you're concerned.